The Lost Dutchman. Just hearing the name evokes strong emotions for so many people. Those who know of the Dutchman know of his treasure and the bounty contained inside the Superstition Mountains.
Well, I've always heard the stories of the Lost Dutchmans and the treasure in the Superstition Mountains ever since I can remember.
You're gonna do it, aren't you?
I love looking for gold, but treasure is something different. It's exciting because you don't expect it.
It's a pretty famous mine. It's, as far as, history and, what we think about old Western history or old mining lore, that Lost Dutchman's treasure and mine is one of the tops.
Follow the stories you've been told. Consider the history we've known and lost. Because no one knows where the treasure is except the Dutchman, and he ain't talking.
That's a lot of what, prospecting's about, is you've got to dole into the history of things. On top of all of that, you've got this angle of this history and this possibility of finding something. Maybe it's remote possibility, but it's still there, and it still drives you, and it's still a lot of fun just to go out there and think about it, and even dream about it. And if you don't find it, well, people scoff at those that go and look, but maybe, just maybe, you got that chance of finding it out there.
This episode of Gold Fever is sponsored in part by Mine Lab, world's best metal detection technologies, and by Gold Prospectors Association of America. It's not about having the gold, it's about finding the gold.
Well, welcome to Gold Fever. We're glad you tuned in. My name's Tom Massey, and on today's show, we're going after one of the big ones, the Lost Dutchman's treasure. And behind me up here is the Superstition Mountains. A lot of people lost their lives looking for that Dutchman treasure up in the Superstition Mountains. And there's a lot of different stories, a lot of different history, treasure maps, and all kinds of lore about the Lost Dutchman's treasure. We're gonna dole into some of them on today's show. We're glad you tuned in.
Tom knows the treasure won't be easy to find. People have given their lives in search of it. Any good fortune hunter knows you must research the area before charging off.
I imagine this is a good place to do a little research on the old Lost Dutchman's, right underneath the Superstition Mountains.
Cast in the shadow of the Superstition Mountains, the old town of Goldfield is the perfect place to start the search.
Hey man, you know where the Lost Dutchman's mine is? No? All right, thanks. Anyways. Goldfield Superstition Historical Museum. Museums are good places to look for information on the Lost Dutchman's treasure. Here's some of the treasure maps. Here you go, Jacob Wart's map, the Lost Dutchman's map. Here's another map to the Lost Dutchman's. Here's another map to the Lost Dutchman's. Sleeping Lady map, Wagoneer map. You got these old rock maps. These different rock maps. A lot of stuff, a lot of leads to follow. Yeah, this is interesting here. This is the collection that the owner here, Bob, has of the Peraltas. And they were the ones reported to be mining in here before the Lost Dutchmans. And some people think that the Dutchman discovered their mines, and that's where he was getting the gold from. And this kind of gives you some of the history here on the Peraltas and a little look at where they were and some of their pictures and stuff. This is some interesting stuff when it comes to the Lost Dutchman's mine. You got to look back into the past to see where these things might be, how they might have gotten lost, how they were hidden, and you start to get into that. You get into that history, and it starts to become a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great story, the whole Dutchman thing. It's kind of, you can spend hours. So people spend their lives up here looking for
You ever looked for it?
I've never looked for it, no.
You ever had a want to look for it?
Not really. A lot of work getting up in those areas up in there, and even if you found it, that's the thing that's most amazing. Even if you found the Dutchman, you couldn't do nothing with it. Wouldn't make you rich because it's all on federal land. So you couldn't mine it, you couldn't do anything. You can go, here it is, you guys go, in the government, go get it. So I mean, you could maybe make the claim that you found the Dutchman, but that's been done half a dozen times or more.
Here we go, the saloon. Saloon's always a good place to find treasure maps and information on where to look. How about a shot of courage?
Here you are, my fellow citizen, welcome.
Say, you got any leads on where that Lost Dutchman's mine is?
You should ask Mr. Shu.
Yeah.
He knows everything.
But bartenders usually got all the good stories. I guess I'll have to find it on my own.
God bless America.
Ooh. That's really good. Well, I think I'm gonna take the bartender's advice and meet up with the owner of the whole town. And Bob's picture's in the museum as one of those Lost Dutchman's hunters.
Tom's on the hunt for the Lost Dutchman's treasure. He took the bartender's advice, met up with Bob. Bob owns the ghost town of Goldfield. He also owns a mine called the Black Queen. Now, the Dutchman's ore might not have come from the Black Queen, but taking some sample from this mine might tell him a thing or two.
Yeah, when we got out there to Bob's mine, I really wasn't, sure what to expect, but there's not too many things that can really slow you down. One of the things that really slows you down is if a mine is really with an overhang or some rocks or is really caving in.
It's 30 feet wide inside. It's the craziest damn thing I ever seen. Dug that wide a tunnel.
It looked pretty good, but you had to get across that water in there where the water table was up.
There's a little ledge that you could go down and then get across that other side.
Not much there. It was a little bit of Tarzan action, or whatever you want to call it, swinging across there, a little Indiana Jones action.
There, good deal.
Well, Bob's been gracious enough to let us go back in his mine. It's a little difficult getting in here. And there's what everybody's saying is a huge scorpion right there. Look at the size of that guy. He's a big dude. Hope we don't run into his bigger brother or sister back down in here. We'll work our way nice and slow. I don't like the water. A lot of times the water kicks up gases, and the air don't smell so good in here. It's not a nice fresh flow of air. But we're gonna go back in and see if we can get a couple of good samples out of the Black Queen mine. Man, that is one big piece of shoring. It looks like it's come across here and then up here where they've been just piecemealing piece after piece in here trying to keep it up. Oh man, looks like it's getting kind of deep too. What I don't want to do is walk along in here and then hit a stope going down, and then I'll be swimming. Pieces of the timbering floating in here. This is super nasty back in here. I'm trying to move real slow so I don't get my breathing up, because I don't want to breathe as little of this air back in here as possible. I can taste some of the gases we're kicking up from the water. But I'm going to try and take some samples here from the hang wall. Now, this mine, you can see here's a little stringer coming right here. And that's all they were working back in here, was just little stringers, but they're really rich. Visible gold stringers, pocket mine. And this little stringer running right through here, this is what I want to try and take out. Right there, that's what I'm looking for. Almost looks like visible gold right there. So these are the pieces I'm gonna take. See this right in here? Oh, that's good looking stuff right there. See some of these bigger pieces. I'll take this one, and that one, and I'll leave the rest for somebody else. I think it's time to move on out of here. This is really giving me the spooks. So you think that the Dutchman found a mine with a bunch of gold in it that was stashed there by either the Indians or the Jesuits or the Spanish some time back? Or you think he actually found a very rich ledge of gold and was pulling it out himself?
According to his description, it was a 18-inch wide vein with a 400-foot long strike. So that matches the bulldog to a T.
So you think it was the bulldog?
I kind of do. Yeah. You're gonna do it, aren't you?
Why do you think it was the bulldog? I mean, besides that.
It fits a lot of the clues, you know. It's 2 miles back from the face of the mountain. Back this way, not that way. Yeah, it just fits too many of the clues, you know. North-south canyon, 2 miles back from the face, like I said.
He would come out here to his mine, and then he'd find somebody following him, chasing him, and then he'd keep going back up in there to Weaver's Needle, which you could see the tip of it sticking up right there.
Yeah.
And then whack him back in there and take care of his problem.
I don't know how many he whacked, but he sure wore a bunch out.
Well, we made our way out here to the Lost Dutchman's camp at Stanton, Arizona. We're looking for that Lost Dutchman's treasure. We've assembled a team here to go look for it. We've got Kevin, world-renowned treasure hunter, gold prospector extraordinaire, and 2 of my best buddies, my son Cale and my daughter Kia. And we're gonna break up into 2 teams, and we're gonna head out here into the desert and see if we can't find that cache of the Lost Dutchman's treasure out there that he might have been high-grading.
The challenge is set and the team is assembled. Cale and Tom will search the desert for their quads, while Kia and Kevin will metal detect an area they believe the Dutchman would have traveled past on his way to the mine. This area also happens to be rich in gold.
Do you do a lot of metal hunting out here?
I do. I've spent 30 some odd years being around this area.
What is the majority of what you find?
A lot of small stuff. I have found a lot of small nuggets out here. One of the biggest pieces I found out here was a 6-ouncer. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was on the other side.
I'm excited about today. I mean, I've done a lot of prospecting in California and Alaska, but not a whole lot out here.
Arizona is amazing. You know, I cut my teeth in the mother lode of California, and then coming out here, it was just, it's tough. It's a hard-packed desert. There's nothing out here that's friendly. Everything's got a thorn on it. You never know what's hiding under the next rock.
There's a lot of desert out there. To narrow down the search, you almost have to put yourself in the mind of the Dutchman. If you had this much room to yourself, where would you hide your greatest fortune?
Looks like they're turning dirt. Yeah. You wonder how much they're getting. I figure they got to get at least a half ounce a day to cover all the costs, you know? Diesel fuel and everything. Looks like they're running a big shaker deck with a dry washer. No water. Running it dry. Well, I wish them luck. Hope they get gold. Comes another prospector. Maybe he's looking for that lost Dutchman's treasure too. All right, well, we're looking for treasure.
Kevin and Kia have finally arrived. The metal detectors are tuned up and ready to go.
Kevin's cool, and Kevin's really funny, and I love hanging out with Kevin because he knows a lot about metal detectors, and that's one of my favorite things to do is metal detect.
Good luck.
All right.
Go find something. You're all set up.
Mining is in Kia's blood. She's grown up with stories of the lost Dutchman's treasure passed down from Tom and her grandpa. Armed with her weapon of choice, Kia starts swinging.
I'm nervous just to dig up hot rocks, but you never know until you dig. Might as well see what's right there.
So I know my dad, and I know when he goes out, he always wants to find something, especially when he does the show. You know, he always wants to find something for the people on the show, so I knew maybe if they didn't find anything, it'd be good that we could find something. And another thing too is I always like to impress my dad.
Oh, I found what was going off. It says, what? SRPD. Don't see any nuggets yet.
Whether it's gold, treasure, or trash, Kia's always finding something.
An old nail. Cleaning up all the metal trash.
And when you get as many targets as she does, one of them is bound to be good.
I found a bunch of trash targets already.
You know what I like about hunting an area like that when you start finding a lot of the old nails? Is that it tells me not a lot of people have been hunting it.
Yeah.
So that's always cool.
Where are the good spots?
We're in one of the good spots.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So keep digging up the targets I'm getting here?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I love trash. I love trash because that tells me one of two things. A, either nobody's ever hunted it, or B, that it was so bad with trash, people walked away. I love trash.
That's encouraging because I've got quite a bit already.
Very good. I'll let you at it.
You know, the area had a lot of good spots in it that were, you know, sounding off of my detector, and you know, they'd be things like nails and anything that was old and metal and rusted.
There's paper. So maybe somebody buried something. Could there be treasure?
There was one spot that we came up on, and you know, I found paper, and I was like, oh, paper! You know, I'm excited, there's something here, like somebody buried something right here, it's treasure.
Go ahead and swing over it again. Hey Evan, will you run down to my truck and get the hand sanitizer? It's in the console in between the seats. This is a hole. No.
As in, like...
See that? That's toilet paper.
This is paper that somebody used to wipe their bum.
What some of the guys have been known to do out here is when they find a piece of gold, they'll poo in the hole and drop a penny or a nickel or something in it and then cover it up.
They haven't found the buried treasure yet, but they have just found the Dutchman dookie.
I got punked.
Beyond punked.
I don't even want to dig anymore. I'm going to cover this up.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If you find treasure, just bury your hole and leave it at that.
If somebody did that, and it's who I think it is, the only reason it was done like that is because there was a gold nugget found there. As nasty as that is.
Nasty indeed. So instead of treasure, all we found so far is poop. Well, at At least it can't get any worse.
See those power lines going over there?
Yeah.
Those must go into Wickenburg. You can see Vulture Peak right there. Gosh, it could be anywhere out here.
Yeah, there's a lot of desert.
A lot of desert. And just, you know, it wouldn't be much. Just a pile of rocks, you know? You know, this trail going into Wickenburg, there's been quite a few murders out here.
Yes. Not very much out here besides a whole bunch of desert.
Back in the old days when they'd run the stage, Charlie Stanton used to pick out the right stage with the right money, you know, or the goods or something on there to hit. And then he'd tell his gang, the Lucero gang and Vega, to hit the stage out here someplace. And then they'd drag it off out here in the desert. They'd drag it out here someplace and then do their dirty deeds out here in the middle of no place. Well, I guess we'll keep looking. Keep looking.
Go find it.
Looks like some kind of old nut or bolt. At least that one I didn't have to dig too deep.
As Kia continues cleaning up the desert's trash, Kevin's search commences. He has spent countless hours prospecting these hills and knows the legend of the Dutchman well.
Got it out of the hole. When you're pinpointing with these big mono coils, wow, that's a big signal. When you're pinpointing with these big mono coils, the easiest thing to do is just turn them on their side and go across the target. Something I probably should have done right off from the very beginning. Let me take a look at that too. And got a nice piece of wire. Love the trash. All right. Fill the hole back in, go on to the next one. It's amazing how much easier the stuff goes back into the hole than when it came out.
The path to buried treasure is not easy. It takes hard work and patience.
Nail number 4. Hey.
Lots of patience.
Searching every day. Hey, a pile of rocks.
Ooh. Let's go check it out.
A pile of rocks. I don't know. Check it out, huh? That's what it would be. It would be a pile of rocks or a thing going down in. See all these white pieces of quartz? Any one of them could be loaded with gold out here. I've seen lots of these pieces, like the tongue nugget and other big chispas and pieces that got gold and quartz all mixed in them. Any one of them could have gold on it, but which one? There's just literally, you know, thousands and thousands of them here. Like this rock. Oh man, look at that rock. Oh. See, I've seen chunks like this that had just gold laced on all over the place on them. Found a few like that too, huh? It's pretty remote today. You go out there today and it's, a lot of ground out there, no roads, just a few four-wheeler trails and stuff. And so you think about it, as remote as it is today, it would be pretty easy to hide something out there. Back then, 100 years ago, when he was out there, 150 years ago, when the old Dutchman was out there, it would have been even easier to hide something out there. Whoo-wee! Man, a lot of desert out here to cover. You could spend a lifetime out here looking for it.
Lifetime and a half.
Yeah.
I think the Vulture mine was really in Motherlode, they say it is.
There's a lot of gold in there. I've been down in the Vulture. Went down in there years ago with your mom, and it's got some big rooms down in there. There's a big, huge glory hole. One of the glory holes in there collapsed, where they were just taking out ore after ore. And they say old Wickenburg, when he discovered the Vulture, that there was an outcropping right on the surface that just had pounds and pounds of gold just sitting there, just a ledge of just solid gold. And so when they started tunneling back in there, it's what they call pocket mines. So every now and then they'd hit areas where it would just be, you could see the visible gold. And that's what got me to thinking that the old Dutchman, when he's driving the ore carts along, and he'd look at those and see those visible pieces of gold through there and toss those out here someplace. And, somewhere out here, maybe it is, but I don't know if we're ever going to find it.
Yeah, definitely hit it in the right spot.
But man, to find a whole bunch of gold or a big gold nugget out here, that would be the berries.
Yeah. I wonder what it's been like to have that much gold.
Find a big nugget?
Yeah.
Back then, probably the banditos would take it away from you.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of crime going on.
You think they'd steal that piece of gold from you back then if you found one?
Oh, look at that! I hit the mother lode! Yippee! I struck it rich! It's gonna be a high time in the old town tonight! Woohoo! Yippee! Look at that nugget right there! That's a humdinger, man! Oh, drinks for the house! Drink up, everybody! It's on me!
You find that nugget around here?
Yeah, not too far from right here.
Whereabouts?
Oh, I ain't telling where I come from. Hey, don't touch it, don't touch it.
There's one touch.
Yeah, I'll get one touch.
How about you say you use a partner? I want a nugget like that.
No, I ain't partnering up with nobody. I'm heading off for the poker game. I'm gonna win me some more money. Here's everybody. Happy days, happy days. Roll them money makers. Yeah, look at that. Nobody gonna have the flush, huh? Flea fly flush. Let me look what I got. Ooh, that's looking good, looking good. I'm gonna bet 100, 250 big ones. How's that, boys?
Old man, you ain't nothing. I'm calling you.
Yeah, more money for me.
I'm all in.
That's pretty rich.
I don't know. That's a little too rich for my blood. I fold.
You don't have enough, old timer.
Oh, yeah? How about that one, huh? That's enough to call. That's enough right there to call.
Boys, I'm out.
Well, looks like it's just you and me then.
Yeah, look at there. 4 queens. Read 'em and weep.
Royal flush there, old timer.
Whoa. What? A royal flush? That's not right. That's impossible. There's no odds at all for that. You must be cheating.
Nobody calls me a cheater.
Boy, if you ever want to walk out of this town alive, you just throw us that nugget.
All right. Since you asked, here's your nugget. How about some beans?
Shirley, that's a nice looking nugget.
Yeah, some old fool put it up in a poker game. Called me on a royal flush. You believe that?
Why don't you check out how much that nugget weighs? How many ounces?
I'd say probably 210 ounce. It's a pretty nugget though.
Enjoy.
Ooh, I got me some beans.
Too easy.
They're not the ones. Oh, I thought that was a piece right there.
So the darker shades has got the gold?
Well, it's mineralized. I don't know. Is that just dirt or is that a piece of gold on there?
I don't know. I think might just have the fever. It looks like some dirt.
Right in there. Your eyes are better than mine.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks close, but I think it's some dirt. Looks like it though.
I'm gonna take it and crush it.
After an entire afternoon of prospecting, they've only found but Kevin's the Michael Jordan of metal detecting, and Kia's got her father's luck.
She's just getting really good with the metal detector, and having Kevin along with her, Kevin's top notch. There's not a better expert out there with those metal detectors than Kevin is, and she's learning a lot, and she was in good hands out there with Kevin.
I think I got a signal right here. Were you saying this milky quartz stuff was a good sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, out here. The specimen pieces I found out here were just beautiful in that milky quartz, that kind of vuggy stuff, you know, looks like it's all potted.
Okay. And this should probably be a good spot right here.
Hey, Kia, why don't you try a real digging tool? Give that thing up.
See where it went. I think it's still in there. I love metal detecting. It's probably my favorite methods of prospecting because you find gold and other cool stuff. Wasp, go away. I'm looking for gold, Wasp. Oh, go away. Go away. Gee. There's two of them now. Come on. I'm prospecting here. What are they doing? I don't know what to do about them. I don't want to mess with them. Go away.
Here, you know, we'll borrow your machine.
Okay.
The multi-purpose coil.
Ah! It's gotta die now.
Teamwork. two cowboys riding into town. Tom and Cale return to Stanton with the quartz rock they found earlier.
This is a mortar and pestle, old school style. And we'll find out whether or not this lovely piece, I think that's like gold right in there and right through there.
Could be.
Drop it in there. Crush that up, grind it up. You want it pulverized. See, by crushing it like that, you liberate those little, what they call free milling pieces of gold. And that small pieces of gold is really too fine for a metal detector to pick up. Now, a lot of people are finding big chunks on pieces like that and swinging their metal detectors over them, finding what they call chispas. But those little small pieces like that, they're really hard to detect inside that quartz. So by crushing it, you can take a look. Now, it's not a whole lot of gold, but if you had a whole bunch of those, then you can get a bunch of gold.
Yeah, and I'm seeing thousands and thousands of pieces of quartz.
Yeah. All right, let me have at it for a while.
All right.
Your turn.
All right.
Imagine if they made baseball bats out of those. Steel baseball bat.
Be heavy to swing, but you'd be hitting home runs.
All right. Hit me right in there. Let's take a look. See if there really was any gold in there.
Oh. Is that my shoe? I think I may have got it out. Let's see. Definitely something there. Okay, this is definitely ringing off. Is this gold? I think I found some gold. Yeah, eureka, there's gold. Right here, oh nice. This rock is covered in gold. Hey, Kevin.
You're excited?
Hey, yeah, I found some gold.
No.
Yeah, right here.
No.
In a
Did you
rock.
really?
Quartz rock looks like. Right
Let's see.
here. Embedded all around.
Beautiful little specimen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Made my day.
How cool. This place is covered in these little specimen pieces like this. Where were you?
Just right up over there. In and around the bush.
It's a nice piece.
I wonder how my dad and my brother are doing.
Hopefully not that well. Should we go find out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to go check on them.
All right. Very cool. Good
yeah,
job.
good find.
Just enough there. Ooh, don't want it to float. Don't want it to float. That surface tension of the water will take that fine material and float it real easy. Now see how it's just all that busted up white quartz? But I guarantee you there'll still be black sand in it, because that's where the black sand comes from. See the black sand? Little pieces of gold right there, right there, and right there. That piece right there was what probably was what was sticking out there that we were looking at.
Yeah.
But see the black sand in there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of gold. Now that's from just a little rock about that big. And each one of these pieces you can see in here is probably worth about a quarter. So they're, maybe 75 cents in gold right there out of just one of those little pieces. And if you saw 75 cents in gold, or you saw 3/4 laying on the ground, you'd pick those up, wouldn't you?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. So you're looking out there and all those little remnant pieces of quartz are out there. They're like little 75-cent pieces laying around out there. You could just go out there and pick them up, crush them, and get this kind of gold out of them.
Yeah, and there's endless amount of pieces that we can go out and find.
Yeah. Well, I think if we had the Dutchman's ore, it would be a lot more gold. We'd be able to crush it up and have more gold. But that's, you know, the gold that's locked up, what they call hard rock mining. And that's kind of a funky hard rock because it's locked up in the rock, but it's still liberated out of there, so you're not tunneling back in the ground. It's just laying all over the place. Pretty cool. Well, what do you say we try and find those other guys and see what they found?
All right, let's go do it.
All right. Hey, Kevin, Kia, you guys rich? Did we find the lost Dutchman's load?
One of us did all right.
I found some gold.
You got some gold?
Yeah, right in here.
Oh, that's a nice piece.
You know, she is deadly with a detector.
Yeah, she sure is. Well, me and Kel, we got this.
Oh.
They're not rich, but it's not the lost Dutchman's treasure, but it's gold from out there, the quartz, remnant pieces of quartz we crushed up in a mortar and pestle, so a little bit of color.
Him and Kale didn't find any nuggets at the location they went to, and the location me and Kevin picked out. We found, that one good one that I found, and it had, you know, a piece of quartz with rock in it, and it was really nice, and at least we found some gold, which is, you know, ultimately what we're looking for.
She actually did get the bigger piece of gold this time, but I'll get her next time.
We didn't find the lost Dutchman's treasure. We learned a lot about it, and it's fun to go out there and look, you know, and some people, they sit around and they watch and they scoff at those who try and say they're fools for trying, but I think you're more of a fool for doing nothing than trying and failing. You know, so get out there in the hills and enjoy the outdoors and enjoy prospecting, and there's gold just laying out there on the ground, just waiting to be picked up. And we'll see you again here on another Gold Fever show, folks. I've researched and found a few pieces of treasure, found a few relics, you know, in my time, but I've gone out and looked and not found so many times, but I've enjoyed it.
That was the first time, I think, that I really remember going out with my dad and finding something that he didn't.
Woo! Look at that! Look at there! It's the big one! Yippee! Yippee!
God, Joe, you're cool.